Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hi dears, how are you? I do hope you will be fine and enjoying the best of your life. Today we will discuss the parts of regression model. As we told you people that what is regressions, why model is indispensable, why model is mandatory, compulsory to study the regression. As we know that regression analysis is a statistical technique particularly designed for investigating and modeling the relationship between a dependent and independent variables. So the regression model is given as y is equal to a plus bx plus e, which is also called epsilons and error term. In this video, specifically, I will tell you that the functions of y, a, b, x, and error term. So let me define first y, which is considered to be the main variables in regression analysis. So y is a random variable because we are going to observe y randomly. It is also called dependent variable because y depends on x. So y is a dependent variable. It is also called response variable because we need response from y by putting the different values of x. It is also called regression variable because regression is based on y. It is considered to be the main variable in regression. It is also called explained variable because by using the values of x we are going to explain y. That is why it is called explained variable. It is also called regression variable because we wanna regress y on the basis of x. It is also called predictant variable because the main prediction is about y. It is also called effect because we know that in regression analysis the relationship is functional. There is a cause and effect relationships between x and y. That's why the main variable, the response variable, is nominated as effect while x is called cause here. So let's come to the x. X is fixed. It is also independent variables. It is also called explanatory variables because we explained y on the basis of x's. That's why we call explanatory variable. It is also called regressor. The other name is called predictor. This is the most common name in regression. X is predictor variables. It is also cause, and it is an important point to be noted down that independent variable is always controlled by researcher. Along with it, in econometrics language, x, which is independent variable, is called exogenous variable, while y is declared as endogenous variables here. So some examples in front of you: yield of wheats and fertilizer applied, and study odds and obtained marks. But here a confusion is often faced that which variable should be taken as dependent and which one is taken as independent. So think for a while and decide which variables you can control from yield of wheat and fertilizer applied, and study odds and obtain marks. So you should reach at a point that study hour is controllable while marks depends on number of study hours. So independent variable is study hours while the dependent variable is obtained marks. Because as we read that independent variable is always controlled by researchers, so in case especially fertilizer applied is independent and yield of wheat is dependent variable because yield of wheat depends on fertilizer applied here. Let's come to the A. A is actually called Y-intercept, initial value, starting value. It is meaningful when X does not contribute to Y here. And it is an important point to be noted down that interpretations of alpha is slight dubious but is meaningful when x is equal to 0. That is x does not contribute to y. Let's suppose y is equal to 1320 plus 150 and x. It means if you are not applying fertilizer, the crop will give you yield which is equal to alpha, that is 1320. So without the fertilizer applied, alpha will be the total productions, alpha will be the yield. In last, we can say that at alpha at x is equal to 0, alpha will be the expected value, alpha will be the average value, alpha will be the central tendency of y, that is expected yield or expected productions. Let's come to the b, which is also called regression coefficient here, and also nominated slope of the line because it shows the slope of the line here. And it is very important points to be noted down that the algebraic sign of beta is very important because it tells the nature of relationships between x and y, and beta shows every change, expected change in y that occurs due to the unit change in x. Let's come to the interpretations of beta, that if a beta of regression line is positive, it means that there is positive relationships between x and y, and in case beta is negative, simple as that, x and y are negatively related, that there is negative relationship, that there is indirect relationships between x and y, and if in case beta is equal to 0, it means that the regression line has no use, x and y are independent, there is no linear relationship between x and y. Error term, which is very important and a little bit of disturbance term, it is also called disturbance terms, error term. It expresses the effect of those independent variable, those explanatory variables which are not included in the model. Variation due to chance, accidental variations, variations due to other factors. That's why we declare unexplained variations, because such variations are unaccounted for. Nobody can explain it, nobody can expect it. That's why it is called random variables and nobody can explain it. That's why such variations are the part of disturbance term, error term, and called epsilons. I do expect that you have got the point. Inshallah, we'll meet you next time. Assalamu alaikum.